Hey guys, and welcome to a little bit of bonus episode. So I promised you guys that I would show you the game that I was running in the background over the weekend of Thanksgiving. That had taught me so much about what I could have done and what I should have done in the Crusader Kings stage of the game. And this is it. So, I am Alba. Big difference from the game before when we were playing as Ferrara, the Kingdom of Ferrara. Obviously, that exists in Lombardy down there in Italy, but I am Ferrara. Or I'm not Ferrara. I am Alba. Sorry. And you can see I've kind of stretched all over the place. You know, I own all the way up in here. A good portion of here. I own 6, 4, 5, 7 kings. I own 7 kings. And I started as a pithy little 2-province minor of Tir Eoghain and Argyala, or however you pronounce those Irish names. I started as a little 2-province minor right here in the year of Charlemagne. The year of Charlemagne, 769. Now, of course, in Charlemagne, Europe is horribly divided after Charlemagne's death. I mean, you have West France, Middle France, you have Lombardy down here. It's absolutely horrible what Europe was turned into with Charlemagne's death. And now's the year is 994. I'm moving on to year 1000, moving on to Stamford Bridge and William the Conqueror era. And since I control the British Isles, I imagine that's going to be fairly difficult to deal with when the time comes. But yeah, this is the one that this is the save file that taught me so very much about how to play Crusader Kings in a positive way, in a way that makes me very strong very quickly. And in the period of about 200 years, I had 7 kings, and that's pretty impressive, I would say. Now, I'm not saying I'm a great player at the game. I am terrible. Absolutely. But I feel pretty good about the save file. I feel like I've done a lot. Currently, what I'm doing is I, as the good Catholic that I am, of course, am holy warring through the Germanic regions up here, through Sweden, basically. You can see Norway doesn't really exist anymore. Sweden's having some internal rebellion stuff because I keep crushing their armies, and so any faction that wants to rebel can rebel, and it's really nasty in Sweden. So it's just this horrible spiral of chaos and death in Sweden, and I'm taking complete and full advantage of that and marching my army north, taking over Scandinavia. Once I finish off Sweden, obviously, kill Finland, kill Kimmy, and just kind of go through all the heretics and heathens that I can. We'll see what happens. I mean, I can't say for certain. Gotland is their own country. I did not realize that. I can holy war for Gotland. I will do that. This is not me. This is Kurzeme. Even though it's close to the same color, this is not me. Poland is pretty scary. The Byzantine Empire is terrifying. Are they the strongest? I can't remember. I'll go into the game here and show you guys just a little bit more detail what's going on. But I know that Otacid, which is Hispania, the Empire of Hispania, is insanely powerful. The 4 big powers you can see on this screen right now, Alba, Byzantines, Otacid, and Jammu, are the 4 big powers out there right now. I believe Jammu is one of them. I'm not 100% certain because Jammu has shrank even more since I last saw them. They used to own more land over here where Tamimi is, and some more of the land up in here last time I looked at them, and more in here as well. They used to own a lot more in here, and that's gone. Obviously, they are birthed of what we saw in our game is Bari. They are basically, they were the Bari of this game, if you will. Abbasids have gotten much stronger out of that, and they own the core of Egypt, so they might actually be the ones that are up there in the top 4. Lombardy used to be up there as well, but you can see the Byzantines have really kind of smashed Lombardy down here in Sicily, and they're moving up towards the papacy. Now that's scary for all of Catholicism. The Orthodox Byzantines are marching towards Rome. Whenever they take Rome, if ever they take Rome, I feel like it'll be a bad time. Now, that being said, we are very rapidly approaching the age of the Crusades, so the Byzantines may have the weight of Anasid and Alba marching down on top of them. Because, frankly, everyone else that's in the Catholic region are so minor and so tiny that who cares. Although, I'll be honest, France can field about 13,000 soldiers. That's not... No, it's respectable. It's not great, but it's respectable. In comparison, let me go ahead and jump into the game here and show you guys a little bit more in detail of what Alba is. And what the world is like at this point. But, you know, I say 13,000 is respectable. That is because Byzantines have 42,000, Hispania has 33,000, I have 31,000, the Arabs have 23,000. You know, France, yeah, they're on the map at almost 14,000. But you can see where the power lies. You know, number 1 is a big distance from number 2, and number 3 is right there. Then number 2 and 3 are a huge distance from 4th, which has a nice little hop to 5th, and nice another hop to 6th, and another hop to 7th. And 7th and 8th are on par. You know, France is the equivalent of Lombardy. I'm sure that's great for them. I'm sure that's exactly what they want to hear. They're as strong as Lombardy. Oh, man. That sucks for them. What sucks for me is that Hispania is stronger than me. Because obviously I have a border right here with them over Perigord. And I plan on, at some point, I don't know. At some point I feel like I have to fight them. But, I don't know. The Byzantines are the strongest, obviously. And it said the Arabian Empire. Let's actually open that back up. Okay, that is Jammu. Okay, it is Jammu is the Arabian Empire. They are right there. But they're right next to the Byzantines, and the Byzantines could crush them. The Byzantines could crush anybody if they tried. So it is a little bit scary. So the laws in my land. How the heck does this empire work? Because there are 7 kings in Alba. It's not a small empire. So how does it stay stable? The imperial laws of Alba dictate that it is agnatic elective for all of Alba. Every single king title is agnatic elective except for Denmark, which is agnatic cognatic elective. I think that's why right now it's a queen of Denmark, actually. 5-year-old queen of Denmark. Because of the agnatic cognatic that I instituted in Denmark before I gave it up to, actually her father, him. I gave it to him. He died at 39. I was not expecting him to die, but he just keeled over, and it's like, okay, I guess that's that. But fun thing to look at in this, actually, I want to show this off. How fucked up the empires are. The kingdoms. So we look at the Kingdom of Alba. Okay. Alba is typically Scotland. Because, you know, that makes sense. Oh yeah, by the way, they own this as well. Like, that's Alba. all the way out to here. That makes sense. Ire. They own most of Ireland. You know, 2/3 of Ireland, a little bit over there. And then a random part in Germany. And a random thing over here, too. I mean, they own that, too. Wales, I feel sorry for Wales. Bang. They own Cornwall, great, and half of Wales. The other half of Wales is owned by the Emperor directly. And that's only because I gave up a little bit of land so that the Kingdom of Wales could actually exist as, like, almost an entity. That kind of sucks. And then, you know, obviously the rest here you think would belong to Sasana, which is England, including a part of up here. But even that's not true, because they don't even have the rest of it. Because the Emperor has direct vassals over a lot of everything. So yeah, Sasana has a lot of territory. Then we look at Britain, or Brittany. They own part of Ireland. Look at that. And then, of course, this nice big chunk down here, but they don't own the little part on Brittany that matters. And then Denmark, I kind of feel sorry for Denmark, because I kind of shafted them when I made the empire. I originally only gave them that, and I only recently gave them that as well. I just took that in a war maybe 5 years ago, if that. Yeah, so if you know how long new administration lasts, I don't remember. But that'll tell you how long ago I took it for how long they've actually had that. I built another city. Lots of cities. Lots and lots of cities. And then the last one, the last kingdom, a little bit harder to find. You have to go to here for the most serene republic of Saxony. So, I had a great story about Saxony. I'll just talk to you guys about this right now. I somehow, because remember, this is an elective government. So all of at the time, it was all of the dukes, before I gave away the king titles. It was all of the dukes, which was like 40 votes or something. I don't know. No, it wasn't 40. It was 23. That was the number. It was 23 votes total. So it really was like the people were voting for their next emperor. It was actually really cool. Now it's pretty much just kings that vote. Some dukes vote. Some dukes do vote. But not all of them. Now it's mostly just the kings that vote. And the people that directly serve the emperor. Which actually is quite a few. If you look at my vassal limit, it's 26 to 35 right now. That's actually quite a bit. But anyway, back to Saxony. The emperor that ended up getting elected upon the death of the old emperor just so happened to have in his court the Prince of Saxony, when Saxony was its own individual independent state. Somehow, I had the Prince of Saxony in my court. So what I did is I gave him a city and then declared war on Saxony for the entire kingdom of Saxony because he was a pretender. And I just inherited, or I didn't inherit all of Saxony, I conquered all of Saxony, and it just became Alba all at once. This giant swath of land instantly inherited into my territory. That was a lot of fun. I greatly enjoyed that moment. However, I gave him the city over here on Ireland, and I really, really wish I hadn't done that because of this. Prior to Saxony, I had formed the Republic of Wessex, right here. The Prince Mayor Ulf of Wessex is where the original trade republic came from for the British Isles. Now you can see they've actually done quite a bit. They own a good bit over here. And then I built Saxony after that, and then they started getting in the British Isles as well. And now it's I don't want to see a war between Wessex and Saxony. And I feel like I need to give Wessex away to Sasana because they're the only ones that could properly defend themselves from Saxony. But as long as Wessex is directly owned by the Emperor. I feel like they have some protection, but not enough. Not enough. So, they actually, Saxony started right here, right in Ireland, right across the way from Wessex, and that has made this a very tense situation up here for what's going on. Down here, you'll notice that there is no Venice. Byzantines conquered Venice, said screw the Republic, and destroyed it. There used to be a nice big republic down here over in this area, and it completely disappeared off the map once the Byzantines captured Venice. And that has helped Genoa prosper. They have had a complete monopoly and are absolutely huge and scary, and I really, really want to eat them, but they're a part of Lombardy. And that's a little bit far away from me, but I really want Genoa. I'm trying to get the Genoans married into my family so that I can inherit Genoa, because this would be amazing to own. I would own the Mediterranean and the Strait of Dover. Yeah, the Strait of Dover. So, we'll see how this plays out. I might give you an update around, like, when the game ends, around, like, 1400 or whatever. Assuming it makes it out that far. Crusader Kings is notorious for having corrupt save files, so we'll see how it actually plays out. But, curious, where'd you come from? War against Lombardy? Revoke Urbino. Oh, so it's like a rebellion. Okay, whatever. That'll be resolved. But yeah, that's basically how it's panned out. I want to see. Yeah, I would like that. I just barely got medium crown authority with the last emperor, which means now the kings have to stop killing each other, which is really nice because it was really kind of an issue. If you, again, looking at how the kingdoms are divided in here, you can understand that everyone was pissed off at everyone else and they were always killing each other. That was a problem. Now, I would like to make sure that vassal titles can no longer pass outside the realm through inheritance. That would be absolutely amazing. I do not want absolute crown authority. That is a big, big no-no. One of the things I love about kings is your vassals will wage wars for you. When I would have been holy warring up here in Sweden, all the while I've been holy warring, every once in a while, Saxony declares their own little war while I'm up here holy warring as well. You know, I'm marching through, I'm whacking down all the armies, and Saxony's like, hey, I want a bit of this too, and they start marching their armies up there too, because they declared war, specifically. Now, this is, of course, after I end my holy war. It's like, I end my holy war, and then Saxony's like, no, I want the war to continue, and they declare their own war. And then I can declare a war on top of their war if I want to. But I absolutely love having my vassals being able to wage their own wars. So absolute crown authority, absolutely not. However, vassal titles should not exist outside of my realm. They will stay in my realm. That is extremely important to me. We'll get that done. I think I want to almost lower centralization. I feel like I'm in a good balance. I'm at a good balance right now because I had to create all the king titles because I had way too many vassals. I was controlling way too many dukes, and I could not get anything for anything. So I absolutely had to create the kingdoms to lower my amount of vassals that I had, which was an interesting situation to deal with. Not sure how I feel about it, but it works. It works out well. Military-wise, again, my vassals combined give me 20,000. That's insane. My personal army is 7,150. My personal army that costs me nothing to upkeep is 7,150 soldiers. With my personal army alone, I can march through almost any country I want which is exactly what I've been doing. I've been conquering Aquitaine, I've been conquering Germany. If I want to fight France, I do have to raise additional levies, but other than that, this personal army is so overpowered that there's nothing that'll stop me. So when the Charlemagne update came out, and you guys remember, I was really upset because I couldn't expand my retina anymore. That it was actually way over the cap because they reduced the effects of certain texts on how it would affect the retinas. Because at the time, I didn't understand why. Because it was the only thing that was keeping me, a small country, being able to fend for its life. But I get it now. As a vast empire, it makes sense. Because I'm at 11,900. I will gladly take that cut now. Because if I didn't have that cut, I'd probably have 20,000 soldiers marching over the land right now. And that would be way too many. That would be way too many soldiers. Not to say that obviously I wouldn't be countered by the Byzantines or by the French or Arsacids. I mean, they'd have their own retinas as well, but as you get bigger, that gap would get bigger. And right now the gap is smaller because of what they did with Charlemagne. So I gotta say that's actually a pretty positive move. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm not going to play through this game on camera for you guys. I'm not going to make an anti-pope right now. I could, but I'm not. That would be silly. But yeah, I mean, it's been phenomenal what you can learn off of such a simple second game. You know, if I had known what I had known now when I was playing as Ferrara in the very beginning, I feel like I could have done so much more. I could have been so much greater than I was. But it is what it is. We'll go into Europa Universalis with an open mind and the idea that hopefully we will continue to conquer and continue to grow. So that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. This is the game that really pushed it for me, that really taught me a great deal. And now you've seen it for yourself. Now you've seen what the Alba Empire is, which is funny because I started in Ireland, but the names are all silly and they're screwed up, and I don't get it, but I assume they're the archaic names. Anyways, that's it for this little bonus episode for Crusader Kings, guys. Like I said, absolutely amazing experience becoming an empire. Going from a little state to an empire, absolutely amazing experience. So, I do recommend giving it a shot. Ireland is a nice, easy place to start because it's really divided in the beginning, which gives you a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things and to experiment without any real big threats. One last thing, in case you guys are interested in the order of how I conquered: Ireland, Wales, England, Scotland, Brittany, Iceland, and then the Duchy of Gelre, which is halfway to Frisia, Saxony, Denmark. This stuff I got down here just kind of over time in some minor wars and some inheritance stuff. Just over time, I just took it. It wasn't any particular order. It just kind of grew over time down here. But yeah, that's the order it ended up going in. So I kind of took an interesting route. Kind of a circular route, I guess. Because my last war was down here. My very last war was to take Auvergne from Aquitaine. So, and then I'm going back up here to Holy War. So I kind of go in circles. That's really weird. I didn't realize that. I go in circles. But yeah, that's the route that I took, if you guys care to track it going forward. So, as always, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you next time with another episode of Europa Universalis, because it'll be the first episode of Europa Universalis, not another episode of Crusader Kings. Sometimes you get too used to saying a certain thing and it just slips out. DFTBA, and thanks for watching.